What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You are now tuned in to episode 32 of the In-Game Grind podcast, the greatest podcast on this clairvoyant plane of existence and the next. This, as always, is your host, Jason, and joining me, as always, is my friend, my homie, a man who has just concluded his self-focused Black Friday gaming shopping. Chris, tell the people what's up.
Hey people, what's up?
Damn, you know what I should have said? I would have said, new teeth, who this?
Yo, for real. You could have, and then I'd go into detail on how, like, you should take care of your teeth, kids. Don't forget to brush. Don't forget to floss.
Brush twice. Yo,
don't eat conversation hearts.
I would like to, just point this out. I have been using a Philips Sonicare, which, if you don't know, is a rechargeable toothbrush. That shit is different, like hella different. Like, I've been using it for about 3 months now. Man, like, my teeth feel amazing.
that might be the tech then, because
and it's only like $20.
Yeah, it's about that time to change them out.
Because I had this thing where it's like I couldn't, like, it's not gingivitis or anything. It's just I have very sensitive gums. And I couldn't brush really hard. And this, you don't even have to, like, move it. Like, you hold it in place and it does all the shit for you. Like, it's the tech. Like, it's great. It's great. But oral hygiene aside, what's going on, everyone? Episode 31. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving, and if you don't,
a safe
Thanksgiving, and if that's not your style, I hope you just had a good Thursday. And as always, the day after Thursday, the day after we're supposed to celebrate being with family and eating, is the day that we usually engage in Mortal Kombat at the TV aisle in Walmart's. But because of COVID, not a lot of Black Friday, IRL Black Friday going on. Online Black Friday was a doozy though.
It's popping.
I got chefed. I didn't really get a ton for me because I was getting stuff for other people, but I did still get chefed up by Steam and Amazon. I know you got a lot. No, I can't wait to hear the list. All I got for me, I got Senran Kagura Versus, which is one of the Senran Kagura games that's been on my list forever, and they always go on sale. But it seems like every time they go on sale, something else I want's on sale. So I picked that up. I also picked up SD Gundam Cross Rays, which I didn't really like, so I returned it. And then I got Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which didn't work, so returned that too. And but I also did pick up the Steelbook Collector's Edition of Persona 5 Royal, which might stay in the plastic. Honestly, that might just be a collector's piece because I already have the game. And I picked up another game that shall remain nameless because it is a gift for my girlfriend. But what you pick up, man?
So I got paid today. Right. Steam let me know, hey, you got like 3 hours to make your decision.
I like how now we know on the last day of the Steam sale you have till 12 o'clock.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, you know what? Next week is Cyberpunk. Let me just go ahead and buy that and get that out of the way because It's going to be on an off week and I don't want to miss out on that drop. But I was like, okay, well, there's $60. What else should I get? And Steam just happened to let me know, hey, like half your wish list is on sale. You should just look into that. And I was like, all right, cool. So I picked up a few games. I picked up Naruto Shippuden, Ultra Ninja Storm 4 with all the DLC.
Same.
Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection because I've been meaning to pick that up.
Same.
Just so I can play my favorite one, which is Third Strike
all day long.
I picked up Cyberpunk, and I have all these categorized, so I'm having to like jump in and out of categories. I picked up RE3 because that is one of 2 games I am missing out of the entire RE remaster lineup. Only missing RE1 now.
Was Zero remastered on PC?
I don't remember.
Well, it's not important.
But it's the next block of games because I ended up getting a collection. BioShock, BioShock Remastered, BioShock 2, BioShock 2 Remastered, and BioShock Infinite with the season pass and like the DLC shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
$12.
That's not. I should have picked that up because I already have Infinite, but I don't have 1 or 2. So I that is something that I missed out on.
I picked all of that up. That is it. I thought I was gonna get I thought I was gonna get not Senran Kagura.
Yeah.
But it's the jet, the water jet, ski jet game that's made by the same people. And I wanted to get that, but I missed out, and I was like, you know what, it's fine.
I think I missed out because like Black Friday is usually the day that I go to GameStop, and I use that to fill out a lot of like the last 2 years I've been using Black Friday to sort of fill out the backlog of Switch games because GameStop, no matter what deals they have, right? But like no matter how you feel about GameStop, they usually always have really good Black Friday deals when it comes to used games.
Yes.
So they always have, every year they have the buy 2 used games, get 1 free. Last year was probably my best year ever. I got like Fire Emblem Warriors used. I got Dragon's Mark for Death used. I ended up getting like a Toho Bullet Hell game for free that I still don't like to this day, and then picked up Persona 5 for like $10. Like that's a steal. And then the next year I ended up picking up another 3 games that I don't remember, but yeah, like Black Friday, it was a good Black Friday. Oh, one thing I did pick up for Black Friday, I picked up the Razer Tartarus V2, which is we're getting back into Final Fantasy 14, and
getting back in, dog. We are in.
Yeah, we're back in. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things, and it's kind of like it's a keypad. So if you can visualize it, I don't have it. It doesn't show up till tomorrow, so I can't actually show it on camera. But for you audio listeners, I guess try to visualize like a mouse. Try to visualize like a fourth of your keyboard in the form of a mouse. That's probably the best I could do, but it's for MMOs. Whatever. You know what? Enough of the Black Friday shopping. Let's go on and get into the subject of today's episode. So right now it is December 1st. We are on level 12 of the most try-hard game of all time, being 2020. And on December 10th is going to be the Game Awards for 2020. We have talked about Game of the Year so much on this podcast and how much of a dogfight it was going to be. So we're going to talk about basically all the categories that they have available for the Game Awards. And full disclosure, we're not big esports people. We're not. So if we get to like a category that we just don't really resonate with and we can't really like give you any information on or don't really have an opinion on, we're not gonna waste your time. We're just gonna skip it. Unfortunately, that is the case for like the first
category.
Yeah, first category is best esports team. Again, we're not a big esports, like we like esports, but like these specific people we don't really like know, so we're gonna move on. Best esports host, again, the people that we would want to nominate are not on here. One person I would personally nominate is IFC Yipes. Yipes is a great commentator. Tasty Steve is a great commentator. But K-Brad is a great commentator, but those people are not here. So we, hey, I gave my vote to Alex Golden Boy Mendez. So shout out to you, bro. Okay, now we can start having some conversations. Best esports game. So the nominees are Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Valorant. Chris, just like before we get into it, how many of these games have you actually played?
4.
I've
not played Counter-Strike.
I've played all 5. I played like 2 matches of Modern Warfare. It wasn't for me. Now look, regular multiplayer in Cold War,
get me there.
That's that shit. I like that. But Modern Warfare, I'm just really not into any battle royale that isn't Apex. And I'm already not really into Apex, but Apex has set a standard for me when it comes to like battle royales. Like Apex and Spellbreak, those are the only battle royales I can.
Shout out to Spellbreak.
Yeah, shout out to Spellbreak, man. Fortnite is probably going to end up winning this because it's Fortnite.
I really hope not. I need Fortnite to get knocked down a peg.
That would be nice.
But
Valorant.
it's gonna be hard because they are paired with Marvel this year.
I gave Valorant a legitimate shot. I do not mean any disrespect when I say this, because I genuinely will tell you, I am not a first-person shooter type. I honestly did not think I was going to enjoy Call of Duty Cold War as much as I am. But Valorant feels like Counter-Strike with fireballs, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So my vote for this is actually going to go to League of Legends, because I don't know dick about League of Legends, but watching it is so fucking hype. Like,
I play League a little bit, just like a little bit. So I voted for League.
The music is amazing.
Mhm.
The characters, like their music, like I do like League. I like the art, I like all that. I like watching it, so my vote's gonna go to League. Best esports event is between Blast Premier Spring 2020 European Finals for CS:GO, Call of Duty League Championship 2020, IEM Katowice 2020 for CS:GO, League of Legends World Championship 2020 for League of Legends, and Overwatch League Grand Finals for 2020. I will be honest, it has been about 2 calendar years since I have cared even remotely about Overwatch, but I can tell you that Overwatch League Grand Finals was not as good as the Blizzard Cup Grand Finals, because nothing is more like, we were, even after we were out of Overwatch, nothing was more hype than Korea versus America. That was hype.
I'll admit that.
Korea America was hype because, man, look, it brought that patriotism out. I didn't give a damn about no Overwatch, but it made me care for them 5 sets, them 5 maps. I cared about Overwatch.
Ooh, that red, white, and blue.
Yeah, and then it's like League of Legends World Championship. I have been watching, and again, it's like the Super Bowl for gaming. They have a halftime show. They have actual performers. Like, the CG that they use is incredible. Like, that's probably gonna get my vote. I have no knowledge of the other 3, so my vote is probably gonna go to League on that one. What about you, Chris?
Same here. League is just exciting to watch.
It is very, even if you don't know what's going on. Best esports coach, we can't speak on that. We're just gonna keep on rolling. Best esports athlete, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because kind of like the coaches, I don't really know. I do know some of these people. I do know, actually, no, I know one of these people. I know Showmaker for League of Legends. He is a monster. My cousin is very much so into League of Legends, and he's shown me a lot of his highlights. He's pretty cool, but again, can't really speak on this one.
Same here.
Okay. So now we're getting into the games. And here's where we can start talking. Best debut game. We have Carrion from Phobia Game Studios. We have Mortal Shell from Cold Symmetry Playstack. We have Raji, an ancient epic from Newting Head Games. We have Rookie from Polygon Treehouse, and we have Phasmophobia, which I just realized I have been saying wrong this whole. I've been calling it Phantasmophobia, which I feels like is kind of a better name, but a lot longer. But Phasmophobia by Kinetic Games. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
I honestly, the bad thing is, I know of Carrion, I know of Mortal Shell. Everything else I was blank on.
Right.
But you two convinced. It was like we were talking about it with Caleb, and you guys convinced me that Raji was the one to go with.
So my opinion on this has changed. Raji is a visually stunning game, but I feel like my answer has shifted to Rookie or Roki. I'm not really sure how to say it, but I just want to say this because no matter who you pick, I just wanted to take time to highlight this. So I did not actually play Rookie. My girlfriend played Rookie, and she was playing it on the Nintendo Switch, and she was loving it. It's like a Scandinavian RPG, or an RPG centered around Scandinavian folklore. It's great.
Okay.
And she was playing it on the Switch super hard, was really loving it, and got to a point where she couldn't, like a bug was preventing her from advancing in the game. She got very down, very upset, didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I Googled the issue. No one was talking about it. Went to Steam. Nobody was talking about it. I did something that nobody would think to do because, you know, who would? I DM'd the developers. I DM'd Polygon Treehouse on Twitter. They responded like 10 minutes later. And when they responded, not only did they apologize, they told me they were already aware of the issue and they had already put out a patch to solve it. They were just waiting for it to get approval from Nintendo. And they gave me a free code for the game to give to someone else for the inconvenience. And we have been...
Spoiler alert, that game went to my wife.
Yeah, and it's like, that game, we've talked about so much on this podcast about attention to detail in games and just wishing that games came out complete and developers really cared about their games.
Yeah.
Polygon Treehouse is the way that I hope. The way they handled that and the way that they just handle things in general, I hope that that is the way that a lot of these development companies could learn a lot from Polygon Treehouse. They are an extremely small development company, but they make great games and they do great stuff. So shout out to them. But yeah, my vote for best debut game is gonna go to Rookie now.
I understand it's a bit different when you start getting into the AAA title developers. The indie developers, the small business publishers, they're the ones that actually put a lot more love and care into their games. And they're a lot and as you saw, they're a lot quicker to recognize a problem and come up with a solution to it instead of just going, it'll get fixed in the next patch, you'll just have to wait. Because Nintendo's not gonna, like, okay, great example, Origin, EA's. So Jamie ended up getting hacked by the Russians and her account was stolen from her. Talking back and forth with EA, and they're just like, well, if you can't get in, you can't get in, you'll just have to make a new account. Oh, they asked her if they knew how to speak Russian. Because it was a Russian password, and she's like, no, I don't. And they're like, well, we can give you 15% off your next purchase. And it's like,
what does that do?
But what does that do? Like, I've lost my data, I've lost my account, I have to make a new account. And on top of that, I don't even get my games back. I have to rebuy my games, and you're only going to give me 15% off?
On
like,
one?
On one. Like, it wasn't even for, like, the whole thing. And so it's like you see these companies that are like, you know, this one ant in comparison to their anthill of things that they deal with. And they're just very quick to swat things away. But that's what I like about, like, the indie developers, because it's a passion project that they're making, and there's like 10,000 people playing this game, and they'll listen to every single voice because they're like, if something's wrong, they're gonna figure it out.
Shout out to the homie Alex and everybody at Polygon Treehouse. Content creator of the year. I did. Yeah, us. Who else? Who?
Why aren't we on the list?
Why are we not on the list?
Can we?
When I say greatest gaming podcast on this clairvoyant plane of existence or the next, that is not an opening. That is a fact. Robbed. We were robbed.
Why can't I write in the ballot?
If they counted all the legal votes, we would be on this list.
Oh, shut the fuck
up. But who you got, Chris?
I went with Tim Tatman. Funny guy. I've actually started watching some of his TikToks, and they're actually really funny.
I went with Jayan Lopez because she is one of the minds behind Black Girl Gamers, and they are pretty much just an absolute beacon for equality when it comes to gaming, because we've talked about it many times on this podcast that women have it very hard in the gaming community, and Black people have it very hard in the gaming community. So anytime that you see just a Black woman try to stream or just be a YouTuber or just game in general and just enjoy this hobby, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. I mean, for a lot of people, it's a business and a lifestyle, but just enjoy it in general. A lot of people view you as like a double minority in this, in this specific realm. And I think it's really good what they're doing at Black Girl Gamers to just try to bring a light of equality and a light of acceptance to try and get everyone to just understand that if we just treat everyone with love and respect, then we can enjoy our things more,
Together.
yeah, we can enjoy them together. You don't need to, dunk on people for, you don't need to be, what is the word I'm looking for? You don't need to be ignorant. There's no room for there's no room for bigotry in gaming.
You don't need to be an Xbox Live game chat.
Okay. But yeah, my vote goes to JN Lopez. Shout out to you, Black Girl Gamers. Next, best multiplayer.
This is one we actually had a difficulty with. And it's funny because you can look at this and you can see two games that define the year.
Okay, hold on. First up, all the nominees. We got Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, and Valorant.
Now, I'm gonna turn the dial back to the beginning of quarantine, March 10th, 2020.
Yeah.
Two games came out that day.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Doom Eternal.
Yep.
Nintendo dropped a game that the world needed and didn't know how bad they needed it. And then quarantine happened, everybody was locked in their homes, and Nintendo said, it's okay. Animal Crossing.
I think the weird thing with all these games is like two of these games were like flavor of the month games. You had Valorant, which everyone was all about for about a month.
Yeah.
You had Fall Guys, which everybody was all about for like 2 months. Call of Duty Warzone, which everybody, I mean,
it has its own audience.
Yeah, it has its own audience.
The funny thing about Among Us, though, that was out for 2 whole years before it got the resurgence that it did now.
That's the main reason that I can't give it to Among Us, because you've been out. And it's not like anything changed, just people didn't know about it.
Yeah, and now it's funny because it was like a $5 game.
Yeah, free on mobile.
Yeah, free on mobile, $5 game on PC. And it's funny because you look at March, at the beginning of quarantine, everybody was having fun and playing Animal Crossing and, being cute. Fast forward to like September, everyone is trying to kill each other. And who's here? Orange is sus. Get him out.
I do have an interesting question though for all the folks that were out playing this Animal Crossing. When is the last time you've logged into Animal Crossing?
Last night.
Because I know
Jamie's mom and her brother both got into it this past weekend.
Okay, well, I mean, like for the people that bought it in March.
I play it not as much as Jamie does, but still, like, I'll log in every week or so.
If I go on my Switch right now, can I see when other people, the last time somebody logged into a game was? So I'm gonna grab my Switch right here, and I was like, my girlfriend at the beginning of quarantine when she first picked this up, like we picked it up right as like the mask mandate and everything started. So I'm gonna get on my Switch and I want to go see when is the last time that my girlfriend, who was playing this like an absolute maniac, when's the last time she logged into Animal Crossing? And it looks as if oh my god, there's so many games. The last time she logged into Animal Crossing was... It doesn't show me when the last time she logged in.
I think it just shows the amount of hours they put.
Yeah, now she's put about 100 hours into the game, or about 50 hours rather into the game, but I honestly haven't heard her genuinely like ask about it since maybe Halloween, and I don't know if she even did that. But I know there was a summer update where you could like swim and stuff like that, but all that.
Yeah, now it's the Christmas update and you have to make snowmen, and Jamie currently hates snowmen because she's made 12, 14. She said she's made as many as needed because they had to be perfect. She had to go to Reddit and find out the perfect way to make a snowman to get the DIY recipes. I've never seen a woman so upset making snowmen.
My vote's gonna go to Animal Crossing because it's the only game on this list that created a shortage of a console.
It really did, man. It really fucking did.
So next we got best sports / racing game. Do we really care about this one?
I mean, I picked Tony Hawk
Fine, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
because I don't care about basketball. I don't care about soccer. I don't really care about racing.
Let's see. FIFA's on the Frostbite engine. 2K needs to fix their servers, and I don't care about racing games. So let's move along. Best sim / strategy game. Okay. So we got Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gear Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and XCOM Chimera Squad.
There's only one name on this list that I even remotely care about.
Which
and
is
it's the one game I don't even own.
Which is
Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I was gonna give it to Microsoft Sim because it is the most realistic simulator out, and if you can go grab a 5950X and a 3090, fuck it, grab two 3090s and put them in SLI, you still might not be able to run this game. That old man, you can run Crysis, you can run Control. Can you run Microsoft Flight Simulator? Come talk to me when you could get you get 4K over 60 FPS constant and that shit without liquid nitrogen. Then you can come talk to me.
I was about to say that makes me think my rig is gonna burst into flames like you're trying to run 4K.
No, like, it's got real time, like like you can actually go fly over your house and see your house. Like that's that's
some Black Mirror shit.
Best family game: Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time, Fallout Guys: Ultimate Knockout, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Now, I'm gonna say something kind of controversial.
Go for it.
I think Crash Bandicoot's stupid. And I was in the era where those games were popular. I chose Spyro. I tried playing Crash. I thought it was dumb. I saw Spyro and Crash got their 3-game remakes, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I saw Crash get a 4th game, and I thought to myself, now why the hell did they do that? It was fine, and it was fine. Then I saw the gameplay. I was like, so they just made the same game. There's literally nothing different. And then they went, oh, well, there's new masks and abilities. But it's still a 2D platformer with a occasional 3D. That's it. It's just got new characters. And even then, they're not new, they're just redesigned. They're like, yeah, it's about time.
I don't have a dog in this fight because the only platformer I care about is Mario and Mega Man. But I'm gonna just go on there. I have a controversial opinion of my own, but not as controversial. That wasn't even controversial. That was just disrespectful. Like Jesus. But I don't think Paper Mario is a family game.
Oh no.
That's more like a RPG than it is a like. Look, like I watched. Okay, so I have played only one of these games, being Fall Guys. It's the only one I own. But I've watched my girlfriend play Animal Crossing. I've watched her play Paper Mario, and my homie Deuce and his wife have put a few hours into Minecraft Dungeons. From what I've understood, Minecraft Dungeons is really cool until you realize you could just be playing Diablo.
Child-friendly Diablo.
And I don't know, like, one of the greatest things that I like about my Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls is one of the only games where if you had a PlayStation 4 and a PC, is that I would tell you to get it on PlayStation 4. Because the couch co-op of that game is absolutely spectacular aside from item management. But just going around and playing it on a couch with 4 controllers, 1 system, and 4 people playing Diablo, it's like Gauntlet on crack. It's great.
Corpse explosion.
we need to play Gauntlet. I've been wanting to play Gauntlet, but everybody's playing everything else. But Paper Mario, I don't really think it's a family game. It's more of a single player thing, and it's fun. Like I watched it almost make my girlfriend cry out of frustration and snap her Switch over her knee on a boss fight. But it's pretty fun. Fall Guys, I don't really see how that's a family game. I don't. I mean, look, it's cute looking, it's fun looking, but I don't really see family in it. Crash, again, I don't think family games are single player games. I mean, that's just me. And my vote went to Animal Crossing, but I could also make a case for Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. But I feel like that's something that you can really only enjoy if you have children. Like I feel like you and your parents can vibe on Animal Crossing, but not really like Mario Kart Live. And the only reason I didn't give it to Mario Kart Live on top of the children thing is you have to buy extra shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, with Mario Kart Live, that's a lot of like upfront cost.
Yeah, like I gotta have my like I have to have my Switch and driving the cart around the shit in my. What if you live in a studio apartment? How many times can you go around your damn sectional before you? How many laps around the space heater are you gonna do before you're entertained?
Bruh, no.
Watch out for the space. Okay, yeah, my vote's for Animal Crossing, man.
All right, my vote was for Animal Crossing. All right, so our next one is best fighting game. Now, this one was a little controversial.
So we got Grand Blue Versus.
Yep.
From the boys over at Arc Systems. We got Mortal Kombat 11 from Ultimate from the good folks over at NetherRealm. We got Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition from the folks over at Capcom. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows from Bandai. And Under Night in Birth
from Arc.
From French Bread / Arc System Works. Now, listen. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If it's an anime game, only Arc System should be allowed to make it.
100%.
They don't kill. They did Under Night in Birth, which I didn't even know until just now. They did Grand Blue. They did Dragon Ball Fighters, and they did Kill la Kill If, and they're doing Guilty Gear. Like, why would you want to play an anime fighter made by anyone else than Arc System Works? I'll never understand.
I mean, now, before, Bandai Namco has made good anime fighters.
That we need to release the grip that Bandai Namco has on anime games.
100% agree. I 100% agree.
Let Arc System make a Sword Art game.
Shit, let Arc System make a fucking Naruto game.
Don't get me. What? Fighters, but it's Naruto? Boy, stop. Yo.
Imagine Rock Lee throwing in an assist. Leave Hurricane.
I feel like we have to go over this every year. There's always one anime game that does not need to be here. The One Punch Man was the one that doesn't. Like last year was Jump Force, but Jump Force is different. That was like Smash for Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
But it's like when I look at like One Punch Man, Naruto, now My Hero, like One Justice, I don't see those as fighting games, man. Those are like arena fighters. They're different. But my vote, I didn't really get into Grand Blue. I'm more interested in the MMO that never came out than the fighting game.
I'm excited for the Monster Hunter one.
Oh well, yeah, we're talking about Grand Blue Fantasy. Yeah.
I can't wait for that one to come out.
I really do enjoy Mortal Kombat 11. I say that fighting game stories are really usually cheesy, and Mortal Kombat is the one that's even. Mortal Kombat 11 is the only fighting game where their story is even remotely cohesive.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a question about anything that's happening in the, ethos or the universe of the game, there's usually an explanation to it. It's not like, how did Ken get to Violent Ken? He got mad. It's nothing like that. Speaking of Violent Ken, Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, honestly, people are just ready to be done with Street Fighter 5. That's just the reality of that situation.
We are ready for 6. Street Fighter 6.
And One Punch, a hero nobody knows,
when you have a character that literally can just break the game, and that's your main staple.
It is an interesting mechanic, though, that Saitama, like, it's a 3v3 fighter, but if you have Saitama on your team, he literally has to be the anchor, and he can't show up until he gets there on his bike. But when he gets there, He can
He
one shot
one-shot
anyone. It's almost like the Dark Phoenix mechanic, if you think about it, from Marvel 3. Because
just Dark Phoenix.
but it's like people would put her in the rear always, and they don't use supers because they have to save the meter so that when she dies, she could go Dark Phoenix. And it's kind of the same way. Like if you're fighting a team that doesn't have Saitama, it's 3v2.
Yeah.
So it's a cool mechanic, but
I just don't think it belongs here.
Eunice, our good friend Mope has educated us on Eunice. It is a very insane game with some very insane music.
It's a lot of fun.
Honestly, my vote's probably gonna go to Mortal Kombat 11.
My vote went to Under Night In-Birth EXE Elite Clear.
That's fair. Best role-playing game. I'm gonna let you start. Actually,
right.
We'll tell them the.
So here are our nominees: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. One of these games only came out last month.
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I don't have anything on Wasteland 3. Nothing against it, just never played it. I should have picked up Yakuza Like a Dragon, but that's just gonna have to wait until.
Was it on sale?
It was not on sale, but I wanted to get it. Persona 5 Royale. Need I say more? Final Fantasy VII Remake. Need I say more? Genshin Impact. Like I dropped out of it because it just got to the point where I was like, it was monotonous, and
it was a gacha game.
It is a gacha game. I got pretty far without having to spend any money. But you can definitely tell where the incline of the gameplay starts, because there's like at the beginning of the game you can really get far without spending a lot of money.
Right.
So it's super fun and you don't have to spend any money to get to it, but then it gets to a plateau where it's not that you can pay money to expedite the game.
Expedite.
But there is a point where money becomes a factor of, well, if you're stuck, you need to increase your level of your characters. Well, there's one of two ways to do that. You can either A, play every single day and do the optional commissions,
or spend money
and get either stronger characters, stronger weapons, or that same character over and over and over again and level them up and increase their stats.
Right.
After like a month of playing, burns you out. Like, and in my opinion, the multiplayer was very lackluster.
Very.
Like it was fun. Like it was fun for like a week.
The world level shit was what turned me off.
Yeah, like that's another thing. It's like, okay, so everyone starts out at world level 1, and then I think it's like when you get to like when you get to adventure level like 26, your world level goes up.
Like, why is it so hard to find an RPG that's like, yeah, it's multiplayer, but then when you get to the 4-person multiplayer, it's always like there's a bunch of red tape. Like you can't do this, or you can only do this if you do that. Like, no, I want a game, something that just like lets you get in there with your friends and just tear the world asunder. Like like Monster Hunter. Well, even Monster Hunter to some degree still needs work because it's like you can't go. Everybody's got to do their own cutscene and then leave and then go back together. Like I want something that let us come in together, fuck shit up together, and get experience and gear together,
and leave together.
So
like Diablo 3.
Like Diablo 3. So what do you?
My personal pick. I'm a little biased, but I picked Persona 5 Royale, definitive edition of a game that was already the definitive edition of an RPG. It was what got a lot of people into the Persona series. Acid jazz, pancakes, and whoa, that cat can talk.
Look, I don't have a dog in this fight. Well, no, I have two dogs that I care about very much in this fight. Listen,
They both eat very well.
I have been, I want to say, rethinking my top 5 favorite games of all time list. And 3 through 5 is 100% solid, will probably not change anytime soon. 1 and 2 is where I have the most trouble, because 1 is Final Fantasy VII Remake, and 2 is Persona 5 Royal, and it's only in that order because Final Fantasy VII is the last thing that I thought about. Those can change at any moment.
That's fair.
I love Persona 5 Royal, and I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. But and here's the thing. I'm holding up, for our audio listeners, I'm holding up the regular editions of both of these games. That's not what I got. For Final Fantasy VII, I got that collector's edition. The big boy. Not the big boy that came with the cloud figure with the Cerberus cycle.
Or
Fenrir.
Fenrir.
No, Fenrir.
Fenrir.
Yeah, Fenrir. And I literally just bought for Black Friday. I got the Persona 5 Royal Steelbook Edition that will probably stay sealed when I get it because I already have this one. Both of these games are phenomenal, and they were both on sale for Black Friday. And if you didn't pick them both up for Black Friday, God have mercy on your soul. But
do you even like games?
Do you even like games? Do you even have phones? But listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this. I feel like this is some foreshadowing. I'm gonna give this. No, I can't. It can't. Look. Okay. Look. I'm gonna pick Final Fantasy VII Remake as my best role-playing game of the year, and here's why. It is not an indictment. It's not an indictment on Persona, because the Persona 5 Royal was absolutely an amazing game. However, any game can be amazing when you get to do it again. Persona 5 Royal is the improvement of Persona 5. It's so many quality of life changes that allowed me to enjoy the game way more than the first one. And I know what a lot of you people are thinking, but Jason, you can say the exact same thing for Final Fantasy VII. False.
No, you cannot.
Persona 5 came out in 2014?
I think it was like 14 or 13.
14 or 13, one of the two.
It came out originally for the PlayStation 3.
And then it got delayed.
And also for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. But I'll say this, for Final Fantasy VII, it's one of the most legendary RPGs of all time. It's a lot of people's first the same way Persona 5 is a lot of people's first Persona. Final Fantasy VII was a lot of people's first Final Fantasy because it was the first one to ever be available on the PlayStation 1 and readily available in America without having to go through some Japanese reseller or something like that. It's also the reason a lot of people, what's up?
It was Persona 5 came out 2016.
2016. Okay, so they had 4 years, right? We had been waiting. I personally had been waiting on this game for almost as long as I've been alive. I played the original Final Fantasy VII. It's a great game. But trying to tell somebody that it's good today is impossible because they won't be able to get past the graphics. They won't be able to get past the plot holes of the story. This game fixes one of the already best games of all time. I'm giving it to Final Fantasy VII. And I'm gonna stop there because this will not be the last time I mention this game.
It won't. It'll pop up again.
So
all right. Next one is Best Action Adventure.
I'm going to introduce them because this is all you. So for Best Action Games of the Year, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2. Go ahead, King. Go
all
off.
Right. So out the gate, you got 5 stellar games.
Right.
And then Last of Us Part 2 is here.
Don't do that.
No. I'm tired of people defending this fucking game. It was bad. All right. There's a lot of stuff that was wrong with it. The storyline, I think, was kind of. That is a topic for another day. I will not defend that game just because of what it does. Valhalla, personally, it's too new.
Fair.
I think it's too new. It was the same thing with last year when Red Dead Redemption was just winning every single fucking award.
But it just came out.
and it had just come out like a month prior. It was just fresh on everyone's minds. It's too new.
It kind of makes you wonder if Cyberpunk came out on time, how many of these would it be in?
Right? But here's the shitty thing. I'm literally about to shoot my own foot for saying that because Miles Morales literally came out in November.
It's like Valhalla, it's too new. Spider-Man came out the same day. Game of the year. Game of the fucking year.
Ghost of Tsushima. That was a breathtaking experience from start to finish.
You finished it?
Oh, I finished Ghost of Tsushima.
I thought you were talking about Valhalla. Ignore me.
No, you can catch me streaming it on Twitch. Ghost of Tsushima, that was an amazing start to finish. That was a roller coaster. That was a experience. It made us cry. Like it was a saga. Yo, and then Miles Morales just came out with FAL 808s in the start menu, and it changed the game forever. Like, you want to talk about a game that had representation from the beginning to the end, and everything in the middle. Like, it was everything a Spider-Man game was supposed to be, as a sequel, with a new character, and a new story, and villains, and drama, and heartache, and a hero upcoming, and FAL 808s, and Tim's.
And Tim's.
And then you got Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which
It's a great game.
It's such a great game. It's a beautiful game. The soundtrack blends perfectly with the game, the art style, the fluidity of the game going from one place to another, the storyline. It is something of fantasy. It is something whimsical, but with a dark light
Undertone.
Yeah, with a heavy dark undertone. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
It was a good game.
Got me back. It was an amazing game. It got me back into the Star Wars. Because I played Fallen Order, I'm gonna start replaying Force Unleashed because those were amazing games
Force
on their
Unleashed
own.
is so good. So good.
But like that got me back into like one of the reasons why I like Star Wars.
Right.
Like there was a point in time where I enjoyed the Star Wars as a series and as an icon.
Star Wars is kind of like, for me, kind of like Dragon Ball, where I enjoy a lot of the what if type of stuff more than the canon stuff.
Yeah, like that's really what it was. But it was like I said, like the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it was its own story that does have tie-ins to like the actual mainline story, but it wasn't beaten to all hell and back. Last of Us Part 2, I'm gonna leave that alone. I have my own opinions, and other people have theirs. And you know what? You're entitled to your opinion. How you feel about that game is how you feel about it. How I feel about it is how I feel about it. I'm not going to.
Hey y'all, but watch this. You don't like Last of Us 2, right?
Yeah.
How many death threats did you send to the voice actors?
None.
You see that? You can like something and not be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Insane, right? You know what? How many majors do you want? How many majors do you want? Zero.
So who's getting your nomination, man? Who's getting your pick?
Yo, it was hard. It was hard, but I had to give it to Miles Morales.
I knew
because
it.
that was something. Yeah, but like that was something that resonated with me. That was like one of my favorite Spider-Man of all time. Finally getting the recognition and the love that he deserves, especially riding the coattails of his like upswell of popularity, especially coming off of Spider-Verse. It was something that means something to me. Like that was a personal thing, and it's already hard enough for people like you and me who I don't play sports games. Like that's just not my thing.
I don't anymore.
And so it's really easy to be like, oh well, you can see people that look like you if you play NBA or Madden, whatever. But that, like, Miles Morales is a kid that looks like me, that goes through similar things that I've gone through, and makes it something more than that. Like,
makes you feel included.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm not just a statistic, like it makes me feel more than just a person, and it makes me feel something that it's very hard to feel in this climate
Yeah,
that we are currently in.
that's
And
why it's also getting my vote.
so that's why it got my vote.
Ghost of Tsushima's a close second, though.
Oh, it was so close.
It's a close
'Cause, like,
second.
the soundtrack, the setting, the cinematography, and I say cinematography because it was like playing a movie.
If these two won in a tie, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
So,
If
ooh,
if you haven't played any of these games, honestly, all 5 of these games you should definitely play. Come up with your own opinion.
I like how you said all 5. There's 6 of them.
Oh, all 6 of them. Play them. Come up with your own opinion. Don't attack anybody for how they feel, because that's a dick thing to do.
So we got best action game, and we're at 50 minutes, so I'm gonna try and like speed some of these up because we're getting close to game of the year. So we got best action game, which is Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. I voted for Hades just because it is kind of like a roguelike kind of hack and slash RPG type game. Reminds me of like Darkstalkers, or not Darkstalkers. That's the fighting game. I forgot. Damn, what was the old game out for like 360 where it was like you were playing as Death, and you had like a scythe and like a horse, and you don't remember all that?
You mean Darksiders?
Darksiders, thank you. Darksiders. It kind of reminds me a lot of Darksiders mixed with a little bit of like a top-down DMC type game. So mind goes. I just never really got into Doom. I don't have a VR headset, so Half-Life Alyx. I will say, I've seen a lot of interesting things about Half-Life Alyx. Neo 2, honestly, as soon as Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro came out, I never heard another word about Neo 2. So that's that. And Streets of Rage 4.
Me and Caleb played the fuck out of that game. We literally bought it for each other and then just played through the entire game. Streets of Rage 4 is so much fun. It's such a good game. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. It is beautiful. And it's a wild ride from start to finish.
It sounds like it's got your vote.
And it has my vote.
Mine's going to Hades. Innovation in accessibility. Do we really need to vote? I mean,
I gave it to Watch Dogs.
What do they? Okay, they categorize innovation and accessibility as recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. I don't have a dog in this fight.
I don't either. I gave it to Watch Dogs because it's fun to see it from a London perspective, and it was fun to see how the game changed.
Yeah.
From the first game to this current one.
Best VR AR. What is AR?
Augmented reality.
We have Dreams. I've never heard of Dreams. Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. I have been seeing a lot of Walking Dead Saints and Sinners on like TikTok and YouTube, and it looks interesting, but it looks a little like it looks a little bit more like a meme game than an actual like survival game. Marvel's Iron Man VR I've also seen a little bit of VR for, but it doesn't look like something I could put a ton of time into. Half-Life Alyx I saw an article where a teacher was literally teaching his class through Half-Life Alyx by writing on the whiteboard, which I thought was really cool. So Half-Life Alyx is definitely I do find it funny that we finally get a new Half-Life game, but it's VR.
Yeah.
And after all these years, but Dreams I've never heard of, and Star Wars Squadrons. If you play Star Wars Squadrons, right, in VR, Godspeed. Because if I did that, I would throw up immediately. I would heave chunks all over my headset, my TV, my control, all of that. Like, I could not imagine being in a TIE fighter hitting 360s and all of that and not throw up. Yeah, Godspeed to you. Like, I gave it to Half-Life Alyx, but if you're playing Star Wars Squadrons in VR, Godspeed to you, and I hope you get sponsored by Tylenol. Cause you're gonna need it. God damn.
I gave it to Dreams. I gave it to Dreams literally because of the creativity you can see in these games. Like, I've seen people recreate whole games, like retro style, in Dreams.
Yeah.
So I gave it to them because it's just some of the creativity that we've seen coming from that game is just amazing.
You know what? I just realized, like, this is our goddamn podcast. I am not going to fucking short this shit because this is a lot of games. But we
Wait a
just
minute,
go
we're
do
not
it.
sponsored.
I saw what the next one was. I was like, I need some time for this one.
All right, so best community support. This is recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. The nominations are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant. Now, there's one game on here that definitely should not be up here for best community support.
There are 2 games up here that should not be up here.
What's your second game?
My second game is No Man's Sky.
Okay, then what was your first game? 'Cause
Destiny 2.
Okay, well, my game was No Man's Sky. That's because Sean Murray, you're a piece of shit. And frankly, I hope you stub your big toe every time you walk into a new room.
Well, damn.
How dare you lie? Bold-faced lie. And then take 2 years to fix it. And even then, it's still shit. And you still charge full price for it. Like, how do you sleep at night? And obviously, you probably sleep pretty comfortably because this kind of shit doesn't affect you and you're just fine with that. But, like, as a garbage human being, I don't understand how anyone of the same sex, opposite sex, or anywhere in between would even find you remotely attractive with your horrible garbage disposition on the ideas and, I just, you're a garbage human being. I literally just hope you just smash your foot getting out of like this, like you walk down the stairs and you just smash your foot on the railing and like it lasts for like 10 minutes. Like, honestly, and I hope it's like on both feet too, so you're never walking right again.
Damn, nigga. Do I get to go off now?
Yeah, man, go off, man.
Best community support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency. Okay, let's stop transparency. If you're going off of transparency, why is Destiny 2 here? The game on PC went from $60 on Battle.net to free on Battle.net to free on Steam to free just to revitalize an already dead, 6 feet under the dirt, dead, D-E-A-D, dead player base, and you managed to rope some people back in because it was free, and then when you somehow saw some type of a pulse in this dead-ass game, you then released DLC for new patches for $70 fucking dollars, and then when you realized nobody was gonna buy that shit, you started locking content that was free behind a paywall that you could only get through if you buy the DLC. That doesn't make any sense. That's not transparent. That's not community support. That's just showing that you have a predatory business space and it's being successful. Your game doesn't get to go from $60 to free if you're being transparent. So yeah, I gave my vote to Apex.
Oh, fuck. We just rip on 2 games. But yeah, Apex is pretty great. That's why I got my vote.
I've got a whole mixtape of me just dunking on Destiny. Man, moving along. Best mobile game.
Now, this one was a little difficult.
No,
personally.
No,
that's why I say personally.
No, because I guarantee you we picked the same thing.
Oh yeah, we both picked Genshin Impact.
No.
Oh.
Hell no.
What'd you pick?
I picked Pokemon Cafe Mix.
That's hilarious. So the nominations were Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix. Obviously, Among Us, obvious. Genshin Impact, obvious. Call of Duty Mobile. I heard you have to get either a controller Bluetooth to your phone, or you have to get the like dock thing that
But
turns
that's like a controller that holds your phone. Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you have to do that to play a game, don't play the game on your phone.
Look, bruh, I ain't 24, or I'm 24. I haven't been in high school for years now. I think it's quite literally been maybe 8 years since I've set foot inside of a high school, mine or anyone else's, and I can tell you that we used to play like Sonic Rush and all these other games in class when nothing was going on. So I'm not gonna fret anybody for playing Call of Duty Mobile on their phone, but at the same time, with COVID and schools mainly operating from home, you can just play that on your PC or a console or something. So I don't really get that. And
Legends of Runeterra, I don't know.
Nah.
I know it's done by the same people who did League of Legends. Pokemon Cafe Mix, I am still playing it. I actually just started playing it more while I was in the dentist office. But, I think Genshin Impact is better as a mobile game, personally.
I think Among Us is great, but I think it's much better when you're playing with people you know in a Discord server rather than just randoms. So I didn't vote for that. I think Genshin Impact is a complete disgrace of a game. I hate gacha games, and I think it perpetuates a lot of the negative stereotypes that people have about JRPGs, and I hate that shit. And we can't sit here and demonize people for putting DLC, day one battle passes, and a lot of microtransactions in their games, and then sit here and champion a game that is quite literally built to have you run out of patience with the game to spend money. So fuck Genshin. So yeah, I gave it to Pokemon. And your mom gay. Your mom's not gay, listeners. I mean, she might be. I mean, there's like a lot of people listening to this. Your mom might be gay, and if she is, that's beautiful.
I changed my vote.
You don't have to change your vote just because of me.
Nah, it's fine, man. Best indie game. It was Carrion.
No. Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, it's Carrion, Fall Guys.
I went to the wrong one.
Spelunky 2.
Yeah.
And Spiritfarer.
Spiritfarer.
I gave it to Spiritfarer.
Spiritfarer.
If you or a loved one has experienced Spiritfarer, you may be entitled to Kleenex compensation.
Look, man, my girl is playing Spiritfarer, and she's been having a bad week. And I don't think you should play Spiritfarer when you're having a bad week.
I don't think you should play Spiritfarer longer than like one sitting. Personally.
If you need a good ass cry, play Spiritfarer.
Play Spiritfarer. If you really need to just like get some shit out.
If you are just an emotionally devoid person where you just need some type of outlet for anything to give you any reason to experience any type of emotional disposition, Spiritfarer. Moving on. Best ongoing game. We got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. We don't need to speak on Destiny 2 and No Man's Sky. We've already told you how we feel about those games. Call of Duty Warzone. Call of Duty. Yeah, Fortnite is, look, we don't. Nah. Call of Duty Warzone, it's
not bad.
It's not bad. It's just not I prefer the multiplayer. The actual, like, 6v6 and actual objectives to Warzone, and it's just because you think about how many times I don't know, man, it's just not for me. I gave it to Apex. I mean, they've gotten into lore. Their battle passes are actually like worth it. I'm still shocked that EA's the most successful game right now is a free game. I think
that's a spin-off of one of its more successful games, Titanfall.
I can't wait until they introduce Titans into Apex, and then Apex just officially becomes like Titanfall
3.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it too. They're supposed to be adding 2 Titanfall 2 characters, which is Ash and Blisk, which were Titan pilots in Titanfall 2.
Ooh.
Which I think is crazy that they're like interweaved into the actual story. Like It's nuts. Like the story is actually crazy for that game.
Let's see. Now we got games for Impact. We got If Found by Dreamfield, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition by Cardboard Computer, Spiritfarer once again by Thunder Lotus Games, Tell Me Why by Don't Nod Entertainment / Xbox Game Studios, and Through the Darkest of Times by Paint Bucket Games. Again, I'm giving this to Spiritfarer.
Yeah, and the bad thing is, especially for this situation, the other 4 games I know nothing about, so I can't come up with an opinion.
I will say I have watched 2 streamers play through Kentucky Route Zero TV. Well, I don't know the edition, but it was Kentucky Route Zero. It's a very interesting game. And is it because I'm from Kentucky? No, it's an interesting game. I think it was just one of those 2 a.m. I can't sleep. Hey, someone's streaming, and they were playing that. But still, my vote is going to Spiritfarer.
Best performance.
This is for awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and/or performance capture. So we have Ashley Johnson as Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2. We have Laura Bailey as Abby from The Last of Us Part 2. We have Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima. Logan Cunningham as Hades from Hades. And Najee Jeter as Miles Morales from Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Now, you already know who I voted for.
You voted for Najee.
Oh, yeah.
That's
down.
Same. That would. I will say a close second of mine was Laura Bailey as Abby. Because I know a lot. Because all I'm going to say is that I can see where a lot of people see a lot of the negative in Last of Us 2. But I'm just going to go ahead and say it. A lot of the positive of that game came from Abby.
That's fair. My second would have been Daisuke Tsuji. Him and the voice actress that played his counterpart. I cannot think of her name right now, and I'm upset that I can't think of it. But those two actors were amazing and carried the story for that game. On top of that, they are friends in real life.
Yeah.
And they were... there was a point in time when Ghost of Tsushima came out where they were making TikToks with each other as the characters, and it was fucking hilarious because the game itself was very serious,
right?
But they were taking moments, and it was like, haha, look, it's Jin doing something. And they honestly just had a really good time, and they brought a lot of life to those characters.
Okay,
but that is
so
best audio design.
Okay, now look here, we got Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and Last of Us Part 2. And I feel like we're gonna say the same thing, so I'm just gonna say it. We both voted for Ghost of Tsushima.
We did.
Because the music was amazing, a lot of like the wind techniques and a lot of like the standoff, like the standoff sounds and all that were great. But I will say this, the game that I think should win it is not on this list. It's Call of Duty Cold War. The sound design in that game is way too realistic. Listen, at these. These are $160 studio monitoring headphones. When a bullet whizzes by my head, I actually duck in real life. That's how good the sound design in that game is.
The Cold War actually gave me a heart issue because of the flashbangs.
Yeah.
Me and Caleb were playing a few rounds into the night, and those flashbangs, they hit the bright light, and then it has the ringing for like just disorienting you. I had to turn my speakers down.
Yeah.
Because it was real life giving me it was making my heart pound because I was like, oh my God, is this war as hell?
One of the things in that game that gives me a headache the most is when you get killed by a chopper gunner and then it goes to the kill cam and it's just the gun just it's like I don't need to hear it.
Not to downplay anybody who has actually been to war or are veterans. I see where the PTSD can come from. I can see where the loud noises.
Yeah, that shit.
And that is real.
That shit's disorienting as fuck.
Yeah. I think Call of Duty did an amazing. I think Activision and Call of Duty did an amazing game replicating that, and I think they did too good of a job.
Too good of a job. Dial it back. But best score in music: Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and The Last of Us Part 2.
I already know who we voted for.
Look, I got 4 words. One Wing Angel Remix.
Enough said.
Next we have Best Art Direction: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and The Last of Us Part 2.
We did not vote the same on this one.
No, you picked what, Ghost of Tsushima?
No, I actually picked Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Really?
I did. I personally just thought the game itself was just too fucking beautiful. Not to knock any of these games, And I think the only one that could, in my opinion, especially with how I was gauging this, is close second would be Hades, in my opinion. And that is because the backgrounds were literally like painted masterpieces that you're going through. And that's just me.
For me, my choice is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And the only, like, I just want anybody to know, like I said, if you played the original Final Fantasy VII, if okay, let's say it's like this. It's 1996 or 95. You just got done playing Final Fantasy VII. Then you go into a coma. And you don't wake up until April of 2020. And the first thing you do is play Final Fantasy VII Remake. The jump in graphical fidelity and how much attention to detail was put into every single goddamn pixel of that game is simply astounding. From everything to the eyes, to the hair. Do you know how many times I hate playing JRPGs and black people can't have real haircuts? Barrett had a real goddamn haircut with a real edge up and real fade. The design of the game was beautiful. The areas were beautiful. They took areas in the original game that was 3 hallways and turned it into an entire dungeon. That was just Monty Italiani chef kiss. It was amazing. Final Fantasy VII by far.
You gotta get that what is it, the Pacha meme where he's just like, just right.
Now, best narrative. For outstanding storytelling and narrative development in the game, we got 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim from Atlas.
It was, yeah, Atlas.
And we got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Last of Us Part 2. I'm not even gonna waste time. I picked Final Fantasy VII Remake because, again, it's one of the most This game is only the first part of this game. It's the first like 3 hours. It's the first like 3 hours.
And they made it 40 hours.
And that's just including your first run. That's not including going back for hardcore or going back to get stuff that you missed. The reason I give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake again is because they took a lot of those plot holes that I mentioned from the original game, and they took the time to make new, interesting, original stories take place in those plot holes to fill everything out and make it feel like one cohesive experience rather than just like, okay, we were doing this and now we're doing that. I don't understand the story. A lot of people's biggest complaint with Final Fantasy VII is they couldn't follow the story. Now you can. If you didn't pick this up for Black Friday, shame on you and your ancestors. Final Fantasy VII Remake is my pick.
Pick Ghost of Tsushima because it was fun to be a samurai.
I also picked Final Fantasy VII Remake because they challenged their own story.
I picked Ghost of Tsushima because it was fun to be a samurai. And personally, I think the struggle that Jin Sakai as a character had to go through, the decisions you have to make, it was just something really it was really interesting for a day one new IP.
Yeah.
It's very rare that we'll get a new IP come out with something original.
It's true.
If Ghost of Tsushima was not on here, I would have picked Final Fantasy Remake. Because how can you turn the first 3 hours of a game into a 40-hour game and not even end the same way the original ended? And still have you be like... How do you
take one of the most prized possessions of the most famous RPG maker of all time, alter it, and make it better? After 20 years.
I don't know how Nomura does it.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Nomura. Best game direction: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and Last of Us Part 2. Now, I don't know about you guys.
Okay, that wasn't the exact same. 4 of those are the exact same. So I went with Final Fantasies.
Really?
I did. Because of what we just talked about. The direction that game went from 20 years ago to today. There aren't enough words in the English language to describe how good that game was. How good it changed.
I actually picked Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow.
You really believe that, nigga? Shut up. I picked Final Fantasy VII Remake because why would I not? It's the best. Dog. I just gave you a TED talk about why this game is so amazing, and you really thought I was gonna choose something. But Baka, best game direction, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Why is it the best game direction? Because in the original game, everybody was fucking robots. There's exposition in this game. We understand why Jessie is the way she is. Is she a horty toad that just wants some cloud up in her guts? Yes, she is. But why? Because she has. Why. But we know why. Is Tifa super distant? Or is Cloud super distant? Yes. Do we know why now? Yes. Was Sephiroth wrong? No. Is Barret a good dad? Yes. Why? We now know. So many characters that were just there get exposition. A lot of people looked at Barret like just the, just a bare bones Mr. T shoot 'em up black guy. No, he's got depth, he's got story, he's got exposition, he's got characteristics, and they're amazing. Well, kinda, yeah.
Hey, yo, you want to feel sad? Do yourself a favor and look up how Barret got that kid.
Actually, you don't have to look it up; they'll tell you.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I had to look it up because I was confused on it.
Oh.
If you didn't play the game, look it up. Find out how Barret gets that kid, and then feel like shit because you didn't realize it. He's a great dad.
So the last category.
Game
of the year. We have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and The Last of Us Part 2. I'm gonna let you go first.
I went with Ghost of Tsushima because I like being a samurai in Japan and making hard decisions that may not be for your good best interest, but the best interest of the people you care about. And it was fun. And it was heartbreaking. I cried. I screamed at my TV. I also bonded with my dad over this game. So this game has a special place in my heart.
Ghost of Tsushima.
But I didn't vote for Ghost of Tsushima. I actually voted Final Fantasy VII. Because I also bonded with my dad over Final Fantasy VII. And I found out my dad's favorite part of this 20-year-old game that he played when it came out day one. It's a chocobo racing. And there was a part of me when I was on the phone with him because he saw me playing it on my PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, hey, how good is that game? And I'm like, dude, it's phenomenal. Like 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Like, this is a stellar game. And he goes, did you finish it? And I was like, well, I finished it, yeah. But as you know, it's only like the first part of a saga. And he's like, right. But did they have chocobo racing? And I went, hold on, you're breaking up. I'm in Texas and you're in Jersey. What was that? Like, they had chocobo racing. That was my favorite part in Final Fantasy VII.
You just had like a moment of clarity.
And I had a moment where I remembered this motherfucker's my dad.
Yeah.
And now I get it. I get where I got it from. And I had to be sad and tell him that there was no chocobo racing.
No. There's no chocobo racing yet.
Because
don't forget, we're not even at the part where they even introduced that.
Yeah, and so I was like, there's not any in this part.
Because there's no snowboarding yet either.
Yeah, and he's like, damn. I mean, I'm still gonna get it, but
Now,
but yeah, go off, man.
I just want to say this.
Tell me why you didn't pick any of the other 5 games
So,
again.
I will say this past 2020, I started being a mod for my cousin on Twitch, twitch.tv/KamiRPG. If you're curious, come out and check him out. So a lot of these games I didn't play because he played them. And but I was there for every step of him playing them. And I understand that watching a game being played and experiencing a game being played is not the same as actually playing it. But just watching Ghost of Tsushima, it was an absolute masterpiece. The combat was sick, and I really wish I hope the game comes to PC sometime, because I would really like to sit down and enjoy that game in 60 FPS. But you can play in 60 FPS on the PS5. Shut up. But
I'm not paying $600. I'm not paying a fictitious $600 just to be like, it's in the cart. It's not in the cart.
Plus, my computer I have now can do that. So
also, fuck you, bots.
Yeah, for real. We gonna get on y'all ass next week. But Doom Eternal. I like Doom, but I feel like it's really one of those games that you sit down, you play it once, and then you maybe play the really hard version, and then you just don't touch it again. It's not saying it's a bad game. I just don't think that it's really not my cup of tea. I like games that kind of have a little bit more shelf life, I guess, if you could say.
More replay value.
Yeah, a little bit more replay value, or not even replay value. Just I don't really think that Doom for me is game of the year material. I think it's a really good game, but it's not game of the year material for me. Animal Crossing, it was a flavor of the month for me, because I feel like there was a lot of people that bought it because it was popular. There was a lot of people because, again, it deserves to be here in a game of the year because it created a fucking Nintendo Switch shortage for about 2 months. And
no, not 2 months. It was longer than 2 months.
Oh yeah, it was about 4, maybe 5, almost 6 months. Like
it was about halfway through quarantine.
About a quarter of 2020, you couldn't get a Switch. Like you can get one now easily, but like March to about October, you couldn't get a Switch.
It was hard.
But I don't think it's game of the year. Last of Us Part 2. If they had an award for most controversial game, goddamn, by a landslide.
Oh yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I think the combat was very satisfying. I think the story was okay. I do think that it would have been a lot better if they had added something that kind of lets you choose your path.
Maybe even choose a side.
Yeah, maybe even choose a side instead of like trying to force people to see both sides. Maybe show them both sides and then allow them to see which one they want to delve more into. I don't think it's game of the year because I think it could have been a lot better, but I also don't think it's as bad as everybody's making it out to seem. Hades, I don't really have much to say about Hades. I've seen it played. It looks cool. Not really my cup of tea though. Obviously, my choice. Obviously, my choice was Last of Us, but no, it was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've been if you're watching the video version, how could you not know I was gonna pick? It's Final Fantasy VII Remake, and let me tell you something. I didn't even have to think about it unless Persona 5 Royal was up here. Because if Persona 5 Royal was up here, I'd pick Persona 5 Royal. Because this isn't finished. This isn't finished. In a couple of years, we'll be having this whole conversation over again. When Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 comes out, we'll be having this whole conversation again.
Can't wait for that episode.
But if these are my choices, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake by a landslide. Please go play this game. It is the best Final Fantasy non-MMORPG game to come out in a decade, and I said it.
Now, if you want to have a bad time, play Doom Eternal on Ultra Nightmare.
Oh, fuck.
And that's not the difficulty. That's motion blur. I took a quarter swing and almost threw up in my chair.
Why would you do that?
I did it just to test my limits.
I wanted to
test my abilities.
Why did your limits need to be tested?
I felt like Itachi. Why'd you do it? To test my ability. But
Look, it's already been about an hour and a half. I know it's a longer episode, but we had a lot of things to get through. That's all the games of well, not all the games, but that was all the nominees for the 2020 Game Awards. We went through them. As I said, our game of the year is Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you couldn't tell by our most viewed episode, which is titled FF7 Remake is Amazing. Is that what it's called? I think it's called, basically it's our review of FF7 Remake, and it's our most viewed episode, and it rightfully so, because that game is absolutely amazing. But anyways, that's going to be it for this episode of the In-Game Grind podcast. Thank you for sticking it out to the end. As always, the audio versions of our podcasts are going to drop on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you find your audio podcasts on Wednesday at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Central, and the video version is going to be available on Friday on YouTube at 5, maybe 4 p.m. Central. Sorry, y'all, because I forget, because last week we got fucked up because the website that we used to put them up was down. So we couldn't put it out on time, and they both dropped on Friday. So now I'm still thinking back to last week. Okay, audio Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central. Video, 4 p.m. Central, Friday. All right, and remember, leave us a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what your game of the year is. If you thought that a game that wasn't game of the year, or a game that deserved to be game of the year was there that we didn't talk about, put it in the comments. Make sure you rate us 5 stars to get us up that algorithm and all of that. But till then, remember, wear a mask, wash your hands, don't buy from the scalpers, and avoid the bookings. So
Lávate las manos.
Until next time, it's been the In-Game Grind podcast, and we'll see you guys later.
Peace.